Hello, America. Tonight we're diving into the oily, often contentious world of energy politics. The House of Representatives recently passed a bill that has ignited quite the firestorm. This bill aims to limit the power of future presidents to put the brakes on oil drilling without getting the thumbs up from Congress. Buckle up, folks, because we're about to unpack this legislative hand grenade. This isn't just some dry, bureaucratic squabble. It gets to the heart of America's energy future, the balance of power between different branches of government, and of course, the always heated debate over climate change. So grab your hard hats and fire extinguishers as we explore this explosive issue. The bill in question, with the catchy title of the Protecting American Energy Production Act, sailed through the House of Representatives. This piece of legislation is specifically designed to clip the wings of future presidents when it comes to putting the kibosh on hydraulic fracturing, better known as fracking. Fracking, a process of extracting oil and natural gas from underground rock formations, has been a hot-button issue for years. Proponents love it for its potential to boost domestic energy production, while opponents point to environmental risks. This bill wades right into that controversy by essentially saying, hey, Mr. or Madam President, you can't just shut down fracking on your own. You need Congress on board. As you might expect in our current political climate, the vote on this bill fell pretty neatly along party lines. Republicans, who generally favor expanding domestic energy production and often back the fossil fuel industry, were practically doing cartwheels down the aisles in their eagerness to vote yes. Democrats, on the other hand, were less enthused. They tend to be more focused on promoting renewable energy sources and addressing climate change, so many of them saw this bill as a big step backward. The final tally showed unanimous Republican support for the bill, with a smattering of Democrats joining their ranks. So, why all the fuss about this particular bill right now? It's a question that's been on the minds of many, especially given the current political climate. The bill has sparked intense debate and has become a focal point of contention between different political factions. While some folks see it as a direct response to the energy policies of the Biden administration. These policies have been both praised and criticized, depending on who you ask. The administration has made significant moves to shift the country towards cleaner energy sources, which has not gone unnoticed. You see, President Biden made some waves early on by pausing new oil and gas leases on federal lands and waters. This decision was part of a broader strategy to combat climate change and reduce the nation's reliance on fossil fuels. It was a bold move that signaled a clear shift in energy policy. He also revoked a key permit for the Keystone XL pipeline, a project that had become a symbol of the battle between fossil fuels and clean energy. The pipeline had been a contentious issue for years, with strong opinions on both sides. Environmentalists hailed the decision as a victory for the planet, while others saw it as a blow to energy independence. These moves, while cheered by environmental groups, sent shockwaves through the fossil fuel industry and left some Republican lawmakers seeing red, white and blue of course. The industry, which had been a significant part of the American economy for decades, felt threatened by these changes. They argued that Biden was waging a war on American energy and putting the country's energy security at risk. The fear was that these policies would lead to higher energy prices and make the U.S. more dependent on foreign oil. This narrative gained traction among those who were already skeptical of the administration's approach. This bill, then, can be seen as their attempt to rein in future presidents and prevent a repeat performance. It's a preemptive measure designed to ensure that no single administration can make such sweeping changes without significant oversight. The debate over this bill is not just about energy policy, it's about the balance of power and the future direction of the country. Section 5. Trump versus Biden, a tale of two energy approaches. To understand the current energy policy showdown, we need to rewind a bit and compare the approaches of the two most recent presidents, Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Their policies couldn't be more different, and these differences have profound implications for the future of energy in America. Trump, with his drill, baby, drill mantra, made no secret of his love for fossil fuels. His administration focused on maximizing the extraction and use of oil, coal, and natural gas, believing that energy independence and economic growth were best achieved through these traditional energy sources. He rolled back environmental regulations, opened up more federal lands and waters to drilling, and generally championed an energy dominance agenda. This approach was aimed at reducing reliance on foreign oil and boosting domestic production, which he argued would create jobs and lower energy costs. Biden, on the other hand, campaigned on a platform of tackling climate change and transitioning to a clean energy economy. His vision includes a significant reduction in greenhouse gas emissions and a shift towards renewable energy sources like wind, solar, and hydroelectric power. He set ambitious goals for reducing greenhouse gas emissions, invested heavily in renewable energy, and, as we've seen, taken steps to curb fossil fuel production. Biden's policies also emphasize the importance of innovation and technology in achieving a sustainable energy future. These contrasting visions have set the stage for the current tug-of-war over America's energy future. The debate is not just about energy sources, but also about economic priorities, environmental protection, and the role of government in regulating industry. As the nation grapples with these issues, the policies of Trump and Biden will continue to influence the direction of America's energy landscape for years to come. Section 6. Potential impacts, a future shaped by fossil fuels. Now let's get down to brass tacks. What would this bill actually mean if it became law? Well, in a nutshell, it would make it much harder for future presidents to put the brakes on fracking. They wouldn't be able to just issue executive orders or impose moratoriums willy-nilly. Instead, they'd need to get Congress on board, which, let's be honest, could be about as easy as herding cats. This shift in power could have significant ramifications for America's energy landscape, potentially locking the country into a fossil fuel-heavy future. Section 7. Arguments for energy independence and economic growth. As you might imagine, this bill has its fair share of cheerleaders. These supporters come from various sectors, including political figures, industry leaders, and everyday citizens who believe in the promise of energy independence. Proponents, mostly Republicans and those with ties to the oil and gas industry, argue that it's essential for ensuring American energy independence. They emphasize that a strong domestic energy sector can shield the nation from volatile global oil markets and geopolitical tensions. They say that relying on domestic sources of energy like those unlocked by fracking makes the United States less dependent on foreign oil and strengthens national security. By tapping into these resources, they believe the country can achieve a level of self-sufficiency that was previously unimaginable. They also tout the economic benefits of fracking, pointing to job creation and revenue generation, particularly in states with significant oil and gas reserves. These economic gains are seen as vital for local communities, providing well-paying jobs and boosting local economies. For them, this bill is about protecting American jobs, boosting the economy, and ensuring that the United States remains a global energy powerhouse. They argue that a robust energy sector is not just about fuel, it's about national pride, economic stability, and the ability to lead on the world stage. Supporters also highlight the broader societal benefits, such as lower energy costs for consumers and increased energy security for future generations. They envision a future where America is not only energy independent, but also a leader in energy innovation and sustainability. While the focus is often on oil and gas, many proponents also see this bill as a stepping stone towards a more diverse energy portfolio, including renewable sources. They believe that a balanced approach can ensure long-term energy security and economic prosperity for the nation. Section 8. Arguments against environmental concerns and climate change. Now, on the other side of the aisle, critics of the bill, primarily Democrats and environmental advocates, are waving red flags and warning of dire consequences. Their main concern? The environment, of course. They argue that fracking can contaminate water supplies, release harmful methane into the atmosphere, and contribute to climate change. For them, this bill is a dangerous step backward in the fight against climate change, and could have devastating consequences for the planet. Section 9. Conclusion: an uncertain energy future. Well, there you have it, folks. A crash course in the high-stakes world of energy politics. The House's passage of this bill is just the latest salvo in a long-running battle over America's energy future. It highlights the deep partisan divides on this issue, and raises important questions about the balance of power between different branches of government. Only time will tell what the ultimate fate of this bill will be, and what impact it will have on America's energy landscape. One thing's for sure though, the debate over how the United States powers its future is far from over. And that's the show.